This Thanksgiving, we're also making incredible strides to make America affordable again. The price of Thanksgiving turkey is down 33% from its Biden-era highs. Potatoes are down 13%. Ham is down 15% compared to last Thanksgiving.
The reality is Americans won't be talking about the actual price of turkeys and potatoes this Thanksgiving, or even ham. They're going to be talking about how they feel about shopping and Christmas presents. And right now, people don't feel good about the economy. If most Americans feel like the middle class is gone, that's because it is. Here's the proof.
I mean, yeah,
in
for the most part.
article, My Life is a Lie, How a Broken Benchmark Quietly Broke America, Michael Green, an investment manager, lays out how the income needed to feel comfortable in America is far more than anybody really thinks, but everybody realizes. Childcare, $32,000 a year. Housing, $23,000. Food, $14,000. Transportation, almost $15,000. Healthcare, a huge one, more than $10,000. Other essentials, $21,000. All of this requires a net income of $118,000 a year.
Yeah, we could definitely almost guarantee that that's not the overall median income, specifically in the United States of America. Like immediately, as soon as you kind of remove the millionaires and billionaires specifically from that pool that's also being calculated, you'll start to immediately realize that that is not the case here. There are not many people actually making that, specifically outside of like big, gigantic cities and things.
The average for an American household is $83,000. 34% less.
But again, that includes millionaires and billionaires in that sum.
The poverty line in America, as defined by $32,000 a year, is less than a third of the income needed to survive comfortably.
Right.
With us in just a minute, Lori Watkins, Democratic strategist, former Obama policy
advisor.
advisor.
People are struggling, in fact, here.
Keller. First, the man himself, Michael Green, chief strategist for Simplify Asset Management. Michael, what you wrote, we linked to it in War Notes, is one of the most important things I've read all year. What is the nerve
My life is a lie
you struck here?
Well, I think the nerve that I struck is unfortunately what many people have been demanding, which is just for people to actually listen to their lived experience, what's going on in the households in America, why they're not having children, why they're not getting married, and why they're so frustrated with the housing market.
Okay. And that is what is you laid out, and I thought one of the things that was so clear in this was how for many in the middle class, or what we would define in the middle of America, actually doing better financially makes you worse off.
Yeah, it means you're literally stuck paying more taxes on things, guys. And then again, the majority of the government-funded programs, specifically that a lot of the lower income individuals inside of the United States of America are basically benefiting from, you're basically locked out of it because you have a job.
Yeah, that is the real tragedy.
And you're making money.
To define the poverty line in the United States is critical, largely because it helps to determine where benefits are distributed.
Right.
What happens when you cross that $32,000 level as a family of four is they begin withdrawing benefits at the same time that you're making additional earnings. That effectively translates to tax rates that are greater than 100%.
Right.
And as a result, a family that is transiting from that $40,000 level at which we all kind of agree that they're really in crisis to a
can never really climb out of
level
it,
at which they're told they're fantastically better off.
Right, but they're not.
Is really one in which their cash flow doesn't change very much. Right. They're really not able to contribute to any form of retirement savings or any form of investments like home equity that would ultimately leave them in a much safer and better place in their lives.
Right.
That's even before we begin addressing things like the cost of college, which as a family with 2 children, almost everybody is terrified by that prospect.
I'm going to get to the political side of this in a second with the ladies here, but the Democrats' answer to this always is more free stuff. Increasingly, it is the Republicans' answer as well. Is that the answer?
Absolutely not. And this is the really frustrating part. The
No,
answer
it
to
doesn't
this is
add up,
not to
bro.
create another bureaucracy that tells people what they need. What we need to ultimately do here is remove the marginal benefit withdrawals, expand things like the earned income tax credit, and ultimately leave the individuals and the families themselves in the position to decide how they want to spend that money. As we do that, we get pricing information, we get information from free markets about how they're spending that money. That's incredibly valuable from an economic standpoint in helping us understand where there are shortages in the economy, where we need additional resources. And more than anything else, that's why you don't want the government to build another bureaucracy to address these problems, but you also don't want to pretend they're not there.
Right. I agree fully with that here. I'm like, listen, guys, if you are someone who is making somewhere in the low 30s or even low 40s specifically, and you're on some type of government assistance because basically you can afford to take care of your family financially or housing or any type of like insurance, et cetera, the difference between you making $5,000 extra a year is not really going to change your benefits. Matter of fact, it almost seems like a detriment. Yeah, I don't disagree with him at all here. But now changing anything where you're actually making it so more people have access to the entitlements specifically is also not beneficial. So do we need more bureaucracy or I don't know, fix some of the price gouging in some of these systems? I'd say personally.
Mr. Green, if we had a podcast, I'd keep you on for the next hour and a half. Sadly, we don't. But thank you, and I think you have identified the crystal clear issue here. In America is what people's lived experience is.
Welcome.
Michael Green,
Happy Thanksgiving.
Lori Watkins, Annalise Keller, now with us. Annalise, I'm going to go to you because increasingly now the Republicans' answer to these economic difficulties for the working class is the same as Democrats, which is more free stuff.
Yeah, I think there can be this reflexive desire to tell voters you're going to fix something right now, and it's going to be immediate. And vote, everyone's incentivized with a midterm election coming up, so I'm going to use my tariff money and give you a cut of that. Those are like quick fixes that are not going to get at what Michael's talking about, which are some of those systemic issues. I'm a millennial. The statistic that stuck out to me is the average age of a first-time homebuyer is
right.
40. Those are some alarming statistics, and I think we need to really look under the hood.
And the average cost of childcare. In terms of what it costs for $32,000 a year. Okay, so here's the question, Lori. Democrats have spent the past 20 years telling working-class Americans, the group between $40,000 and $100,000 a year, especially the non-credentialed class, that they're deplorables and transphobes. How do Democrats tell those people, as Michael just pointed out, that they understand their lived experience?
Well, I think the Democratic Party, and you just saw this on November 4th, Mamdani was not the only candidate that was just talking about affordability, but he was the most successful. And that's why you saw Donald Trump now elevating his profile, because he wants to hang out and be seen with winners.
Yeah, Mamdani just promised a bunch of free stuff.
No, but he is focused on issues, and he's going.
I mean, yeah, basically. I mean, like, I think by default here, Mamdani, in fact, did just basically say, hey, guys, we're going to give you more free stuff. Vote for me type of thing here. Was he focusing on, like, literal issues? Absolutely. I give him that here. But in fact, his overall talking points kind of boiled down almost exclusively to, hey, listen, guys, so we can go ahead and give you free stuff. Let me go ahead and give you a free grocery store. And then also, if you are of European descent, specifically in the state of New York, or well, how about this, in Manhattan exclusively, we can go ahead and raise your taxes if you're doing better than other people are financially. That's basically Mamdani, but let's continue, guys.
Mamdani just promised a bunch of free stuff.
No, but he is focused on issues, and he's going to work on putting money back into the hands of working people and lowering the cost of things that are astronomically high, which is taking money out of their bank accounts right now. And most Americans that I talk to right now across the board feel like they are being gaslit because this administration is not focusing.
It's a huge problem. For Republicans.
They're not focusing on the way the American people are feeling. They're saying, you have Scott Besson over the weekend going on saying the economy is doing great. That is not how Americans feel right now. Everything has increased. You go to the grocery store to plan for your Thanksgiving meal right now.
Are we going to let Annalise get in here?
And everything has gone up.
Well, I do agree that it's a problem when people feel like their experience is not what they're hearing from, I think President Biden really suffered from this. He was telling people the economy was great, and it wasn't. And this is the trap
for Donald Trump.
This is the trap that I think Donald Trump could fall into if he doesn't refocus on some of these domestic issues leading up to the midterms.
All right, I'm going to give you the last word. You got 15 seconds, though. Mamdani kept saying the answer is free stuff, free stuff, free stuff. That's not how America works or views things.
He's not promising free stuff, Leland.
Free bus rides.
He's going to fix the way that the system is currently standing, and it is broken. And putting money back into the American people's hands.
By doing what exactly? By giving free stuff.
And this is how they are feeling, that they are getting gouged every single step of the way, and it's not right. And Donald Trump better start talking about it after this Thanksgiving break, and also start talking about health care, because that's a huge part of the American
It was a
people.
huge part of the numbers right there.
We all agree.
Right.
Ladies, thank you very much.
I don't think we all agree specifically. It would be great if we could in fact, all agree on these talking points here. But here's the thing, guys. Mamdani definitely is promoting the idea of giving more free stuff. I don't know. I have no idea how this argument is not even like like the obvious argument here, but okay, that's what she wants to basically point out. I do definitely think that Trump specifically doesn't just need to kind of start talking about the unaffordability crisis specifically in the United States of America, and definitely I would, in fact, start with healthcare. Fix the idea of price gouging specifically in like the medical fields, and medicine. And there's no reason why we're paying 1,000 times more sometimes than other countries are on the same exact medication. Make it so if you go to the hospital, you don't have to basically choose which finger you want to put on based on the price, guys. I mean, there are a couple of issues here, right? We do, in fact, have issues. It's very expensive to live in the United States of America, but it does seem like the Democratic strategist here specifically is towing party line. That's kind of the vibe I get from her entire argument here. That's all she's doing here. She's not trying to actually kind of look at things from the center, at least. I don't get that vibe. Guys, do you want to watch movies with me? I never actually thought to like promote it over here, guys. But if you guys do want to watch it, guys, we have hundreds of movies, and I mean hundreds of movies that we've reacted to. You guys can come watch them with me if you want to, along with many TV shows. Currently, we're working on the show Dexter, along with Vikings, and we have a lot of series that are already completed. But if you guys do want to watch it with me, the link is in the description. Everything's available at the second tier. But of course, if that's not your thing, guys, don't worry. Right? Listen, like and subscribe.